Good evening, everybody. I'm Pierre Roberge, the Daily Trader. It is May 18th, and we are going to take a look at Tesla stock from a technical analysis perspective. My goal in doing these videos is to help you understand how you can use technical analysis to make better trading and investing decisions. But I'm not a financial advisor, so please do your own research and make your own decisions. So Tesla is up $3.03. That's 1.74%, closed at 176.89. 176.89, and post-market we are down by 20 cents. So let's look at what this looks like on our chart. So let's recap. So we have a downward resistance. We are out of this downward resistance, so we are happy about that. So this means that the stock is no longer going down at the same rate. This is what this means. The stock could be now going into a congestion zone. So it could have just stopped going down and then going sideways. So we know that it's going sideways because it is into a congestion zone between 154.76 and 176.73. So right now we are at 176.89. So technically we are above our resistance line at 176.73. So this should now be green. Okay, I'm going to tell you that this is one of the weakest break you could have. This is a break of 13 cents or 16 cents. So a super light break. You need to take that into consideration. Let's go take a look at the 1 hour chart. So on the 1 hour chart, this is the first hour of the day right here. Opened a little bit higher, came quite low, relatively low to retest 172.35, which is a support that was part of a previous congestion zone. It is always nice when a stock goes back to a previous resistance and use it as support and then launch from there. So this is what happens. We have this green candle during the first hour. We have, look at this, I cannot fake this, a perfect touch on another support. This should be green. This should be green. So we have two perfect touches for the first 2 hours and then went sideways, and towards the end of the day, during the last 2 hours, going higher. And here is the actual break. We see it a little bit better on the 1 hour chart. So we broke 176.73. So we have our break. And of course, all of our indicators on the 1 hour chart are perfectly bullish. And if we come back to the daily chart, let's look at our indicators a little bit. We have stochastic at 98, extremely strong. We have the crossover MACD that happened a while ago around May 5th. We have RSI that's still above 50, and we have DMI also that's bullish. In terms of the de-risking, this is pretty good. As I mentioned in the past, if you buy a stock that is within a downward channel, this is the highest risk you can have because at least it's not going down anymore. It's going sideways at least. And then once we break a significant horizontal resistance, this is when we are de-risking again that we should not be into a congestion zone anymore. We should be going higher. This is the most de-risking that we can have. So yes, I would have preferred to have a break at 1 something so that it's a clearer break, but it is what it is. This is just a little bit more risky than if it was a bigger break, but there are no transactions that are riskless. The stock market is risky. If you don't want to risk your money, you put your money in the bank. Hopefully, it will not be as risky as the stock market. I have created this little tool that is available if you become a member at the $20 level. I have created this little tool. This is basically a checklist to remind you of all the de-risking elements that you need to look at before getting into a stock. So the way that it works is that you enter your email address because you want to have a copy of all of the information that you are going to put here. You do your stock symbol and you choose your time frame, and then you check, did the stock broke the outmost resistance R2? So this is when you have two resistance. Is your last candle outside of that downward resistance? And in this case, it's a yes. Is our indicator above 60 stochastic? It's a yes. Have we closed above the horizontal congestion line? This is represented by H1 right here. So for us, it's 176.73. So that's a break here. Are there two previous higher lows? If we go here, we have a low right here. We have a higher low. So we have two higher lows. This is better. This is better because we know where the channel now is because we have those two lows. So then I would answer yes here. And as you are answering those questions, that the probability of a move up is increasing. We have a green candle. We have a wick at the bottom. We don't have a wick at the top. Do we have a gap from the high of the last candle? We don't have a gap. We don't have a gap here. And in terms of the upper time frame, do we have stochastic over 60 on the upper time frame? So right now we are on the daily chart and on the weekly chart. Yes, we currently have a stochastic over 60. So then I would go and say yes here. What about the VIX? Is the VIX descending or ascending? This is descending. So then I would go and say that the VIX is descending. So in terms of probability of a move up, we are at a 95 out of 100. So in terms of the current de-risking that we have with Tesla, this is probably the most de-risking that we are going to get. I am still adjusting this tool to maybe include other things. And then you can write a little bit of a note to yourself, a note to myself, and then you can click send. And then you are going to get the actual listing of everything that you have inserted. And this is a way for you to keep track of what you buy and what was the reasoning before buying a stock. Then you will have a trace in your email that, okay, this is what I bought at this time. And what was the context at that time that made me decide to buy it or not. This is a way for you to create your investor journal. Okay, now I need to tell you something. Yes, so this is a great move. This is a great move, blah, blah, blah. There's a little bit of a risk. Nothing is riskless. There is a little bit of a risk because we are getting close to the resistance of this bullish channel. In terms of the upside, I think that we could go as high as 180 something before we see a little bit of a pullback. The best pullback that we could be having would be to have it come down at 176.73 and then continue on like this. But it's possible, and I want you to know about this, it's possible that we have a pullback like this. Because when a stock is in a bullish channel, it goes from one end, the support, to the other end, the resistance, and it goes up and down like this. So just be careful to manage your trade if you are entering right now or tomorrow morning, to manage what you are going to do if it comes down a little bit lower. If you want to be super precise, you can go on the 1 hour chart and then get out as soon as we lose 176.73. And then wait for that pullback here and then enter again if we break back 176.73, assuming that it's breaking it tomorrow. If it opens below 176.73 tomorrow, like we see here on the post-market, I would maybe not enter if you are not in there already, or you can just suffer it. If you enter, you can also just suffer it. If you enter right now, which is close to this resistance, you can just suffer it. And if it comes down a little bit, down to 171 and everything, you suffer it, expecting it to bounce on this thing right here. You can also not buy and just wait for that bounce. You can wait for that bounce here and then only buy once we have that bounce here. But what can also happen if you decide to wait is that Tesla is a stock that launches. So maybe it is going to do something like this before bouncing a lot higher. So there are no way to know exactly what it is going to do. The most likely scenario is that we are going to stay in that bullish channel. This is the most likely scenario because this is what it has been doing. It's bouncing between the two. So the most likely scenario is that we are going to get a bounce within this here. But there is a possibility that Tesla just goes apeshit crazy and just goes and flies like this. This happens. Basically, I cannot tell you when to buy and when to sell. This is a really personal decision. So when we are away from a support like this, I would not buy as much as I would if we had our break of horizontal resistance a little bit closer to support. So assuming that we do something like this and that we rebound, that would be here the most perfect entry because we are breaking the horizontal resistance and we are very close to support. So then we could be getting in at 177 and flying up to 187 in a one straight move. Depending on the time frame that you are playing in, I basically laid out all of the possibilities, and depending on your financial situation, you can navigate this as you wish. Every entry is a bet, and that's okay. So let's take a look at some Tesla news. So Tesla Cyberquad electric ATV is still alive, says a new trademark filing. Tesla has filed for a trademark to use the term Cyberquad for all-terrain vehicles, land vehicles, electric vehicles, but that trademark expired since the company didn't use it commercially. Tesla had requested 2 extensions to file its statement of use for the trademark, with the most recent one seemingly expiring last year. Electrek has now learned that Tesla filed for a new Cyberquad trademark last week. Elon Musk hints at new Tesla Roadster beating Rimac Nevada's new record. So Rimac is a great car company and they have a fantastic electric car that costs around $2 million. They have broken in one day, I think, 20-some different records, and here they are. This is really interesting to take a look at that. So Musk was asked if the next-gen Tesla Roadster would beat the Nevada's newly established 0 to 60 acceleration record, and Elon simply answered, laughing out loud. It seems like Elon wants to beat the Rimac at least on the 0 to 60 acceleration. Okay, because you asked for it, I'm going to also cover Palantir. We were covering Palantir for a long time and we stopped because at some point it was just pointless. It was dropping like crazy and nothing was happening. But right now things are looking a little bit better because of the good earnings. Since December of last year, this was pretty much the ultimate low at $5.9 per share. It started to go up. And then also another milestone was happened when we hit here 729. So we made our first low right here and we made a higher low right here. This allows me to draw this line right here. And then I copy that line to have the same slope. And this will also fit the upper part of the channel. So we now have a bullish channel for Palantir. So that's not nothing. At the same time, we were seeing a wedge. We had a big horizontal line at $9.05, and we had this support line that was going up. So we had effectively an ascending wedge that we broke with some good news in terms of the earnings, a 26% surprise. In terms of the revenues, a 3% surprise. And that sent the stock up. And then we went as high as where we were last time right here on February 15th. And then we had a little bit of a pullback and then we started making higher highs right here. So this was a decent place to get back in. Stochastic is great. We are outside of a downward channel right here and we just broke this horizontal resistance. So our usual rules applied here and now this is launching. We are up $1.49. That's 14%. Closed at 11.74. So we are going to start looking at Palantir a little bit for a while at least. In terms of the VIX, nothing much to say. VIX is coming down 0.81. So this is helping everybody in the stock market. So we broke our support at 16.58. Next support is at 14.85. As long as the VIX is coming down, the stock market will just shoot up. QQQ shooting up. Getting close to 338. We'll see what happens with this. Dow Jones going a little bit higher. We don't have stochastic yet. So this is looking a little bit less good. S&P 500. The S&P 500, look at this. We broke 41.93. So we have officially a break here. This is now a support. We have stochastic over 60. This should be continuing for a while. Nasdaq 100 also, look at this, shooting up quite well. Broke another horizontal resistance. Stochastic is hyper high, so this is really bullish. Gold is continuing plunging. We don't have stochastic. You should not be in gold right now. You should not be in silver right now. This is plunging. It might recover eventually. We can go back into it eventually, but right now I would not touch this. Bitcoin is struggling hard. We don't have stochastic to help it at all. This is hard for Bitcoin to go higher. We are still on support at 26,517. But myself, as soon as we lose 26,517, I'm going to be out. Ripple is doing a lot nicer. Look at this. We broke stick over 60 and we have a great green candle. We have our first MACD crossover bullish. We have DMI crossing over bullish. We have RSI. So maybe Ripple is the place to switch from Bitcoin. And last but not least, the US dollar is doing fantastic again. It's climbing and all of our indicators are super bullish. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. If you like what I do, you can become a YouTube member. Click on my TradingView affiliate link. I'm going to wish you a great evening. We are going to talk tomorrow and I'm going to tell you à la prochaine.